Hey guys, Nicole Blazens here. Mika right there. I thought I should just come on and do this video so that you guys can know that I'm not this heartless person as you've been seeing in my videos or thinking I'm heartless, and maybe you can understand where I'm coming from. Growing up was very hard in my home, as I'm sure it was for others too. I'm not for sure. I just know from my life. I was physically, verbally abused by my mother and my stepfather. And it took me a long time to come to terms with that. Because I never wanted to talk negative about my mom because she was dead. And, well, everybody told me that I was abused, and it sounds like I was abused. And, well, I mean, I know I was because, I mean, they don't just have a social worker come into your home. Sorry, my bangs are driving me nuts. They don't just have a social worker come into your home and tell you you're going to have mandatory counseling. We used to have mandatory counseling with a counselor that used to come into our homes all the time. And would talk to me, my mom, my stepdad, my sister, and my brother until he got sent away and my mom lost all of her rights to him. Let's just say my family has been pretty dysfunctional for many, many years, and I just always try to look past it and say, oh, it was just family, it's just how we are. But then I started looking at what really our family was, and it was toxic. My stepdad was toxic. My mom could never be toxic, really, because she was never home to be toxic. My mom was never home, and when she was home, you just stayed out of her way because you just stayed out of her way. And I never talked about this, and I never told anybody about this side of me because I've always kept it in, never said anything. And then I went into foster care and the system period after my mom died, and I was physically, verbally abused there. But the other thing I forgot to tell you guys is that I was just like, I was not a good kid. I did bad things. But when you're in a toxic environment, that's what happens. And well, it carried on into the system. I had staff members that were abusive towards me, would read my files out loud to other kids in there, talk about my parents. Didn't like it because it was like, well, I could talk about them. I could say what I want to say about my parents. But for you to talk about my parents, that's where I draw a line. So I did some stuff that I don't, I don't think was good, and I regret it. I don't claim to be innocent of all that. I don't claim to be perfect. The only thing I claim to be is that I'm trying to better my life for my kids, and I have done that. And I'm continuing to work on it every day. Every day to me is a new beginning. Every day is a new challenge. I always challenge myself. I always give myself a new goal to work on, because that's what makes you better. And I learned that. And there was something that my social worker, my lawyer, and my foster parents would always tell me. You always keep your family in this box. You always protect them. Why do you protect them when they've done nothing but all this bad, as you say? And it's noted. And some of it, well, I can't help it. It's in my file because my brother set me on fire. He slashed my head open. Those were on file, and he went into a mental health hospital because of it, and then he broke out from it. He broke out of the mental hospital because they couldn't even keep him in it at one point when I was younger. I mean, there's so much. Like, I was telling my husband the other day, I was like, I don't even know how I survived childhood, to be honest, because I should have been dead between all the concussions that my brother gave me by throwing me down the stairs. And then he'd slap me and tell me, don't tell mom, don't tell mom. But I still loved him. Why? I don't know. I guess it was just that when my stepdad was being cruel and wasn't there for me, my brother was. Like, he was handing me money to the side to help me get me food and stuff. Because, well, my mom used to lock our fridge and our cupboards with locks. Because my brother and other sister used to basically sit there and drink a whole gallon of milk by themselves. They'd drink one whole gallon each. And they would eat and terrorize and feed the neighborhood. And so my mom just decided she was done. And she put locks on everything. And so we couldn't get into the food. And I remember this one time she actually thought it was safe to leave the milk on the table. And then she was gone. She wasn't there. And she left a note, here's your breakfast. And I went to go grab the milk and it had already rotted from just sitting out. So I didn't get to eat. I had to wait. And I went to the school and I just told them, I told them I didn't get to eat at home. So they fed me. Like, people don't know that. My foster mom knows that. I used to talk to her a lot. And like I was telling you about the box, they used to ask me, why do you keep them in the box? Why do you protect them? And I said, I don't know. And then finally one day I was able to pull one sister out of the box. The only person that ended up staying in the box permanently and is still in the box is my dad. And I'll get to that here in a sec. But anyways, my sister that's a year older than me, I removed her out of the box. She came to my placement, told me she was no longer basically going to be my sister and that she was getting adopted and that she was no longer going to see me. And she didn't. After that day she came and told me she was getting adopted, she was out of my life forever. I get a note here and there, maybe. I think I only got one after that. And it was then when I was in my foster home, and then we didn't talk anymore because, well, let's just say her letter had something that I had to bring to my foster mom's attention. My foster mom had to bring it to the court's attention, and then the court had to bring it to her adoptive family's attention. So yeah, we didn't talk. They basically, that was it. They cut off all conversations between me and her. And I remind you, I was still under 18 years old, and technically, by law, no matter if you get adopted in a family, they're supposed to make it to where you're still able to talk to your family because of other family members, like me, that were still kids. To me, that was my sister growing up, but they took her. And to me, that's where our relationship failed. That's when she walked out of my life forever, and that was the day that I decided I didn't care anymore about her. So I removed her out of my box. And then the second person that came out of my box was my sister. My older sister. Yes, these are the ones I'm talking about, aka not my sisters. I removed her out of my box. But I've always put her back in the box somehow. I think it was just because of the kids. I know it was because of the kids. It was because of my nephews and nieces. That's the only reason why she always got put back in the box. But it's because I knew if I wanted to see them, I had to put her in the box. But I got smart and learned I could take her out of the box and still have a relationship. But then I decided I can't do that either now. And that's why I made the message I did. That's for them. That's their message. Then I took my brother out of the box because he kept on pushing the mom to me and saying I need to make it work, make it work, make it work, blah, 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 blah. And then he started doing other stuff that I wasn't proud of, and I didn't want my own children around that, so I took him out of the box. Then it came to realization, my stepdad was never in the box. He was taken out of the box a long time ago, like a long time ago. He had his chance. He could have been a fill-in father, but he blew it. But when it came to my mom, she was the last one to come out of my box. Because that one, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to remove her out of the box. But then I removed her out of the box and I made room for my foster mom. But I didn't like totally take my mom out of the box because she's still in the box to an extent. But I removed all the bad of her out of the box and left only what was left of her good that I can remember. And that is how I was able to tell my worker. I actually met up with her after I was like, I think I was like 19 when I ran into her, and I told her, you'd be proud of me. I took them all out of the box finally. And she's like, about time. Took you long enough. And I told her, I was like, well, I didn't see what I saw now. I wanted to see what I wanted to see then because I wanted to make my family work. Because that's all I had left. But then I learned they were all toxic, and they weren't good for me, and they weren't good for my children, and they're out of the box. So peace, deuces, out of the box. And, well, I just wanted you guys to understand, like, I'm not this heartless person because, like, each one, I literally had to write pros and cons for before I decided to remove them out of the box. And if the cons outweighed the pros, then you were removed out of the box. And you could just imagine, because I already told you, they were removed out of the box. But I always left a part of my mom in because part of me will always love my mom. But the other part of me, I'm not going to even lie, I still hold a lot of grudge towards her. I feel that she put me through stuff that wasn't necessary, and I feel like she did a lot of stupid. And I'm not saying she was the best mom and blah, 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 blah. I know she made mistakes and she did her best, and I know that my dad died and it was hard for her. But the point is you're still a mom at the end of the day, and you have kids. So guys, here's my final thing for you. If you're a parent, take responsibility for your children. Love them. Let them know you're loving them. Let them know that they matter. Because one day, this could be your kid doing this video. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye. Sorry if it hurt your feelings. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you do, hit the like button. If not, it's okay if you hit the dislike button. Just know I'm not meaning anything towards you. This is about me. And I just wanted to give you guys a little wider version of a small version of why I am the way I am and the why my videos are the way they've been. Alright, bye guys.